Hi there, my name is Thom Bierdz. A Facebook friend of mine is a teacher, and she assigned her students all to read my memoirs, Forgiving Troy, and they sent me a bunch of questions and I just answered them. So I'm putting together this video and I thought, you know what? Why don't I explain what the book is to people that are unfamiliar with it?
He was one of soap opera's biggest stars until a family tragedy stripped him of his career and shattered his life. I recently took a trip to Lake Arrowhead, where actor and now artist Thom Bierdz shared with me what helped heal his soul. It was 1986. He was on top of the soap opera world.
I don't understand.
Every major soap magazine and thousands of fans wanted a piece of him. But after 3 years, at the peak of his career as Phillip Chancellor on the Young and the Restless, a murder in his hometown of Kenosha, Wisconsin, shatters his world. Thom Bierd's dream of making it big in Hollywood crushed.
I've dealt with some horrible stuff.
Bierd's mother, Phyllis Bierdz, murdered in a pool of blood on her kitchen floor, bludgeoned with a baseball bat by her youngest son, Troy Bierdz, a paranoid schizophrenic.
He was debatably schizophrenic, and he was on the lam, and he wanted to kill me next and kill Dad.
This was no soap. It was now real.
I'm very well aware I've got a brother who's locked up in prison, you know, for killing Mom. I was shocked that it happened. I was shocked. But I guess it escalated, and I learned later how much he had threatened her and how much help she had tried to get. It was after he killed her, and when I went back to help him, that I realized, you know, this is my little brother, and I can be a big brother, and we can both benefit from that. And we correspond. I visit him. We help each other. I'm proud of him because he actually got to a point of remorse.
Decades later, Hollywood lights replaced with Lake Arrowhead trees. Bierdz retreats to what he calls his treehouse and invites me into his home and into his conscience. Can you describe how you're feeling now?
Sure. I mean, I was angry at my brother for killing, and I was mad at Mom for dying, but there's just got to be a bigger picture.
And that bigger picture comes in the form of canvas. Bierdz has spent the past 8 years painting and reflecting. He says art has been his saving grace.
I do project after project, and it makes me feel so good. And thus, I am connected to the now. I'm not horrified at the past or too anxious about the future. So that's what puts me in a good place. So this, afterwards, I looked at it and thought, what is this? This must be my mom, who had 4 kids, so this is the 5 of us. And I was feeling like she was still holding me.
Through his artwork and spending 20 years writing his book, Forgiving Troy, the book debuted 3 years ago. It's a healing memoir of Bierd's debilitating journey, where he shares shame, guilt, and loneliness from the murder of his mother, and how to forgive in the end.
You know, I wanted to show how bad things could go and how good things could go from that.
Bierdz says he is better off now. A devastating tragedy turned life lesson that has taught Bierdz to live, give, and grow.
I think people generally should take accountability for their lives. You know, that's a big way that I like to operate. And Troy wasn't. He kept blaming it on other things. My intention has been to help. If I can do that, if I can help people living as self-centered as I do, I love that. That's my story, Forgiving Troy. I've had very big people in Hollywood interested in this as a movie, and I hope that everything comes together because it is a story that I felt obligated to share. Hello, Jillian in class. Thank you for reading my book. Hello. Okay, you got some questions here. Was it hard to move from your world of acting to a complete different life as an artist? It was very hard because I had a midlife crisis. From the time I was a little boy, I thought that my self-worth was all about becoming a big star. Maybe a lot of you identify with that. That really was the most important thing to me. I followed my dream. I went to Hollywood. I did become a star, and then I didn't. And then things got rough. And I was so socially anxious and in a city that I didn't like. But I had a midlife crisis, which many adults do, where they had to rethink what was important in their life and what was feeding them, what was productive, what was good for me. And so that part I knew, no, I needed to change. I need to give up this game. It doesn't matter what anybody thinks of me. I don't care. And, you know, I moved to this incredible place where all I see are trees. Do I miss Hollywood? No way. No way. And look at that big bear. Ugh. David likes it. And we're drying David's clothes and one of my paint towels. So I'm much better off here. But I think it's pretty hard for everybody to change their highest priority, like no matter what that is. Right? Okay. What has been your favorite painting you've done to date? We'll put that on screen. How old were you when you started painting? I remember my first memory, I was 3 years old and we were dipping Easter eggs and painting Easter eggs around the family table. So I remember at 3 years old I was totally captivated by it. And I love the whole creation aspect, which is what we're doing. We're all creating our realities anyway. And painting is one easy, flat way to do that. Are you dating anyone? I am not dating anybody. I had about 12 relationships with great guys, absolutely great. And they all ended well, much better than most people's relationships end, because there was always honesty. So this is my advice to you, because I do believe I've had many successful relationships. When you're in a relationship, tell the other person whatever they think is okay. Whatever you think is okay. There's no right or wrong. That way you get to hear all the truth. There are no secrets that end up, with people hating each other and resenting each other after a relationship is over. So I'm pretty proud that I did not keep anything secret during any of my relationships. What does your typical day look like as an artist? Okay, I get up when the sun gets up, my dog jumps on the bed, and I feed him, I feed the birds on the deck, then get up on Facebook, see what I've got to do during the day, make myself great breakfast, and then walk the dog in the village. And then in the afternoon, I'm usually painting or working on some projects or running the American Art Awards online. So right now, Facebook is my only social life, other than an hour a day where I'm walking David. Did I call him Sa? His name's David now. So I love being alone. I love that I can do anything I want, and I'm very happy. I've always created by myself. Over my lifetime, I've written 12 scripts, 5 books, a whole library of coffee table books. I've done 2 complete movies, doing everything, editing, acting, directing, everything. So I enjoy being by myself. I enjoy creating by myself, and I've got a rich spiritual life. So I'm really fine by myself. but this has been the most solitude I've ever had. And I'm ready for a relationship. I'm ready for a relationship. Do you have any pets? Yeah, I've got my beautiful little dog David, who's over in that area sleeping. I can't imagine not having animals here. You know, I'm completely alone. I would need something. I need some kind of companionship. Okay, here's some questions about the forgiving Troy. What was the hardest part about writing your story? Were there any easy parts to write? The hardest part about writing my story for me was not what most people would think. Yes, I sobbed on the keyboard many times, heavy with emotion, reliving the bigger-than-life aspects that have occurred. But I wanted to do that. Part of me enjoyed being connected on that dramatic of a level because I participated in that. But the hardest part for me was the cohesion, was the dates, looking back and figuring out all the exact dates, because I hate that stuff. And, you know, making everything organized and make sense methodically, chronologically. Do Greg's children and Hope's children have any type of... Okay, there's probably a page missing. Okay. Do Greg's children and Hope's children have any type of relationship with you? I'm assuming that says. I do see Hope's girls, and I'm very proud of them. They're in college now. No, I have not seen Greg's children because Greg's wife does not want her kids to know what she was like. So I've kept my distance. Have you ever considered exploring whether or not you're schizophrenic? Have you ever been worried that you might be, especially before everything happened with Troy? Have I ever worried that I was schizophrenic? Well, I do play that up in the screenplay of this that I wrote. No, but seriously, I've never wondered if I'm schizophrenic. No, I tell you what, I do see the world differently than 95% of the people do on almost every subject matter. But I think more like an artist, not a schizophrenic. I think like an artist. I think like a very unconventional, anti-structure, question authority kind of mindset. I do believe in things people would think are crazy. I believe in miracles. I believe that anything is possible. I believe in an afterlife. Some people think that that's, insane. But no, I've never worried that I was schizophrenic. All of my thoughts made sense. Even though surely I've participated in patterns, negative patterns that are not serving me, counterproductive thoughts and patterns, but that's not schizophrenic. Everything, fits together in a way. Did doctors ever determine with more certainty what type of mental health concerns or diagnosis Troy actually has? Well, not really. I mean, as you read the story, so it was debatable whatever he was going through. Once he killed Mom and he was in prison, they had no incentive to help him or figure out what he's got. He's just another mouth that they got to feed behind a cell. So, no, there's never been any official diagnosis. He's just medicated, as you know. He's in the psychiatric unit. Has Troy's attitude towards killing his mother changed or stayed the same over the years? Well, that's a good question, because even though I did see some growth in Troy, which you read about in the book, I think there's a big block there. You know, in truth, he did kill his biggest support, the person that loved him the most. You know, how does he deal with that? I don't think he does deal with that. Do you believe everything in life happens for a reason? No way. I don't believe things happen for a reason. I don't. And I don't think I believe in anything fated. Now, I may differ a little bit from my book because that was written 6 years ago. So I may have changed. I know some spiritual things have changed. No, I don't think anything happens for a reason. I really believe in the law of attraction. I believe we are vibrations. We attract things to us through what we put out, what we feel. We attract those circumstances. I think it's pretty cut and dry there. And and I totally believe in free will. I don't see how things can be destined if we do have free will. What is your favorite memory of your mom? What's my favorite memory of my mom? She said many times big things come. She said many times big things come in small packages. And she was, only 5 foot and 100 pounds. And I liked having such a strong person as a mom. And overall, she had a great deal of integrity. I never once did my mother say, oh, I lied about this, or I'm lying about this, don't tell anybody. Mom was always honest. Always honest. She had a lot of integrity. And my sister particularly thought she was too strict on us, but I don't think so. Do you believe that the government did their best to assist Troy? No, I don't think the government does its best for anything. The government is corporations and they do their best to make money. No, the government did not do their best to help Troy. If no, would you blame the government or hospitals for Troy killing your mom, or would you still blame Troy? I would still blame Troy. I don't care. I really do believe in the law of attraction. Troy, I believe, created his own sickness. I believe Troy made very dark, negative choices, and dwelled in that, which just magnified, and he became as lost and sick as he was. Poisonous thinking. So I would not blame anybody but Troy. But I do have to say that my mother was partly accountable for being the victim. She knew it was going to happen, and she participated. Throughout your story, you point to Troy's aggressive, violent feelings and thoughts for you. I'm missing some words at the end of my... That's what it is. I wonder why. Okay, whatever. Throughout your story, you point to Troy's aggressive, violent feelings and thoughts for you. Yet you still invited him to live with you briefly in California, among other supportive gestures and efforts to have a positive relationship. Were you ever afraid of him growing up? I was never afraid of Troy growing up. And I honestly was not afraid of Troy even when he lived with me. I didn't believe he was a serious threat. I didn't believe he would ever hurt me. I didn't believe he'd ever hurt Mom. No. I was afraid of Troy visiting him in his cell. Well, not in his cell, because I didn't go to... I was afraid in the visiting room with Troy on occasion, but I knew that there were guards there with guns, and if Troy got out, I might be afraid that he would want to harm me. That thought would go through my head. Do you ever feel threatened by before he took your mother? Do you think that there was a lack of institutional support for his condition? Yes, there was a lack of institutional support for his debatable position. condition? Do I think there was... Do you think that there was a lack of institutional support for his condition? Do you think there was a lack of institutional support for his condition? Well, you know, I'm not going to say, yes, we need more help for the mentally ill, like everybody does on Facebook. No, I'm not going to say that, because mentally ill is too varied. It's too questionable. No. I think what we need is classes in accountability. People need to be taught very early that they create their circumstances, and they've got to stop blaming other people so that they're not so angry that they kill them. How do you think institutional support, mental health support, has changed since this has happened? Oh, I don't really know. I haven't followed it that closely. I'm sorry, I don't know. Do you mind disclosing if you take any medication for said disorder? What disorder? And do you think it helps? Okay, maybe these pages are out of order. I didn't say I had any disorder. Probably I could have been diagnosed as having social anxiety. You know, I was never officially diagnosed with that. I've had extreme social anxiety, but I don't think it's the same that most people have. My fear has been I hurt people's feelings when I'm around them. You know, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. So I'd rather avoid people so I don't look at them like I don't like them. Because I may not like them, but I don't want to hurt their feelings. Am I on any medication for that? No. No, I did try, because when I was in the city and I was auditioning and everywhere I went, I was so overcome with nervous energy and self-doubt and fear of hurting people's feelings. I did see several, I think, psychiatrists and ask for medication, and I experimented with maybe 5 or 6 things. None of them helped. None of them cut it down. I even got a medical marijuana license. That didn't help either. No, the only thing that really helped me, and I probably shouldn't tell you this, is tequila. And so, you know, if I am at a social event, I will have, you know, a couple drinks, and then I'm not worried. I become this confident, funny guy. So that's it. And I'm not even on a sleeping medication. I was taking for a little bit that popular one, whatever the thing was, starts with an A, I think. And that worked. That worked. But I want to be free of medicine. I'm 53 years old. I don't take any medication. I'm in perfect health. I'm a vegan, you know. And I do know how to get to sleep. If some of you if you have insomnia, I'll let you know. I know it isn't easy to provide an answer, but in the book, you seem to handle getting answers and closure out of Troy with grace. Grace? Where's Grace? How did you have the strength of character to do so? The strength of character to get answers and closures. Okay, well, I learned probably as a teen that you don't put people on the defense. So I chose, in my dealing with Troy, not to blame him, accuse him, harbor any negative feelings. I knew that she was dead. It was my opportunity to help her help him. So I was with him, and to help him, I did not meet him with any judgment, and he knew that. He could sense that I just wanted to help him, and so he was honest with me. And a part of him wanted closure. Have you had any contact with Troy after the events of the book? Yeah. He's okay with his life. It's a small world. He's created a small world and he's comfortable in it. I've created a very small world too, and I love it. Hey, do you maintain a relationship with your brother Greg's children since he committed suicide? I answered that before. No, I don't. I would like them to know I'm there for them if they need me, but I don't know if I could be of any benefit to them. Have you found that you still might have some anger or hatred towards Troy for killing Mom? Do you channel through your art usually? You know, when you're writing a book about such heated, heavy things, oh my God, you have to write it and rewrite it and rewrite it 100 times. You've got to go through everything. So before, when I said I was sobbing at the keyboard and I was also angry at stuff, but that was a long time ago. That's all been out. That's out, completely out of my system. Do you think that if your father would have never divorced your mother, she would have never had to go through so much with Troy? Oh, good question. I mean, I do believe we are more shaped by environment than biology. So if his environment had been different, possibly. I think maybe the thing missing was, and this just occurred to me, is we all need to feel powerful. We all need to feel good at something. And I don't know. I mean, of course she loved him and she probably told him how good he was at stuff, but I don't know if he had any positive hobbies or venues to bring him towards a lighted possibility, a better arc, a more productive return. I don't know. Okay. What was it like knowing that your brother was on the loose and could pop up at any moment and kill you? It was horrible. It was horrible. You know, at that point I realized he could kill me. So it was, it was scary. I hope nobody has to go through that. Do you think your father would have visited your brother in prison without your encouragement? Dad said that he had a 5-year plan, and he said when Troy was in prison for 5 years, he would have gone to see Troy at that point. Come here. What are we doing? Did you have treats? Do we have treats? What are you doing today? We got toys? Do we got toys? See the camera? There's a camera? Okay, hold on, get your toy, baby, get your toy. I'm taking an English class on memoirs. We discussed that when reading memoirs, we focus on the balance of truth as invention in the stories. Memoirs obviously have a base of truth, but memoirs are fuzzy, usually, so to create a story there's likely to be some invention. So my question is, what kind of things in the book did you have to invent, or what memories that you made up? No, the book is completely true. The book is completely true. The screenplay is not. The screenplay, you have to squeeze events into 120 pages or even less than that, mostly dialogue, so you combine characters. Yeah, no, as far as I know, I did not do any of that in the book. No. But it was hard to know what to edit out. You know, I mean, obviously there was enough in there that I didn't have to invent things. And I didn't hide any pieces. The first draft of it, I didn't say I was gay. And my brother-in-law said, Tom, is that fair? You know, you're saying all this horrible stuff, you know, about the rest of the family, and you're still in the closet. And he was right. And I thought, wow, that's totally right. All right. What messages do you hope people get out of your book? Well, out of the book. Well, I've got to say, again, I want people to be accountable for their lives, what they attract, what they create. All right? Out of Forgiving Troy. All right. It's been a while since I've thought about that, so let me think. If there's something else. Yeah, I guess the main one is just forgiveness, you know. Forgiving him helped me, healed me, brought me good things. So anytime we choose to forgive or be grateful, we are blessed. How are you and Troy doing today? Troy has not responded to me probably for close to a year. You know, I've written him several letters and just to tell him I love him and hope he's doing well and remind him that I'm here if he wants to call, and he hasn't chosen to do that this year. So, you know, I'm okay with that. What you doing? You okay? Okay. Do you think your father's absence played a part in the traumatic experiences? You know, Dad doesn't think so. Dad blames Mom and says that Mom was a jealous monster, which she wasn't, maybe to him, but, you know, she married him at 19. I never saw that. Do I think Dad's leaving? Only indirectly. That perhaps there was a part of Mom that was filled with hate for Dad and herself for not keeping Dad. Maybe cycle, she brought a metaphoric hurt to herself through that. I don't know. Okay. Was it hard? I think that's it. Is that it? Is that it? Okay. All right. Over here, baby. Come on. Over here. Come on. Over here. Over here. Over here. Over here. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Thank you very much. Thank you for reading my book. I really appreciate that. As I said in the book, it was something that I went through that was bigger than me. It was bigger than life, and I really felt I had an obligation to share such a horrific story, and that became redemptive and productive. So thank you so much.